I wanted to share, I'm about to raise 100K for a short film, which is fucking crazy. And it doesn't seem to make financial sense. And my whole time of making films, it's like I make the zero budget stuff.
Right. And this one's only a 2-minute short film too, right?
It's gonna be probably like five minutes.
I was completely kidding. I assumed obviously it's not gonna be two
It's gonna be
minutes.
like a 12, 15.
I thought it was gonna be like 30-minute short, bro. That's like the longest it goes, right?
Bro, we're squeezing like 100K into probably 5 minutes. And the reason being, we're going to get a piece of talent in this thing. And it's not even going to take up the majority of the budget. Like, you got like payroll shit. You've got locations going to be expensive. We have probably like 30 actors in this thing, most extras. Uh,
Sounds
and
like
yeah,
a high concept thing.
very high concept. I'm on page like 66 of the feature. I've been sitting on this idea for like 4 years. It's going to be the one I'm coming out the gate with. But the strategy is get the really strong script finished, get a piece of talent in the title role, only bring them on for a day because their day rate's going to be crazy. But you got the pairing then of the script and of this proof of concept that's executed flawlessly with a piece of talent that's like really, really up there, then it just puts you in a different echelon. It's like it gives you a kind of credibility and a launching pad for the feature
You know
that
what I think though? You know what I think? I think you just have to figure out a way to bond with a star. That's how you get them. I could be completely wrong. Maybe it's as simple as you go to the agent and stuff, the old fashioned way.
it could, I mean, that could be it. I
Dude, that
feel
shirt
like,
looks so money. I
huh?
this is gonna be interesting sitting here for 30 minutes and just looking at that shirt because I love seeing it
Hey,
on you.
let's go. Let's
Like
go. I'm
anyway,
sure there's something about like seeing other people wear your shit. That's just dope.
it is like what you brought up. I appreciate it, but it's more even that like I just think it's a dope design. And like I don't because like the only person that I see wear it is like me, and I'm not looking at myself.
Yeah.
It's like getting to see that.
It's
It's
good, man. And I like for our listeners out there, I'm wearing one of his Valiant Mentality shirts, one of the latest drops. And I
Mhm.
really I dig the red on black. I like the color scheme too.
That was actually like my original vision of the whole thing. I kind of envisioned like a vintage, like super nice quality, but like kind of gritty Blade Runner style vibe, capturing
Hmm.
like the like yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's cool. And I like the minimalism of the front, and then you got all the stuff on the back. I dig
100%. It's a nice balance, right?
that.
Something for everyone. Anyway, back to raising.
But yeah, dude, it's definitely different from what I usually do. I'm keeping up the weekly shorts thing. I'm now on like week 9 of consistency, like every Friday. So I'm keeping that machine going. That's only going to help. And then, yeah, dude, me and Ken, I just had a call with Ken, my
Okay.
producer,
Yeah.
and
Love
we,
Ken.
yeah, yeah. And we're, what was it, Red Dress? That
Oh
was our
yeah.
last project together. Yeah.
Yep.
And we're yeah, man, we're just going balls to the wall on this one. And this is our shot. Like I feel really strong about the concept. I feel really strong about the vision for the thing. I love that it's a one day for talent. And yeah, I do agree that like rubbing shoulders with talent would help. I mean, the question is always like, how do you get to them? Like, who's like a friend of a friend who knows them, whatever. But the thing is, bro, the as far as budget goes, we could probably get someone for like a tenth of our budget. I mean, honestly, I haven't treaded in these waters before, so it's gonna take. This is
Here's
all.
what I was. Here's how I think you get to the star. You make a script. Why are you guys sitting on 5 minutes? By the way, is that just because the concept?
It's it's like what I wrote basically for the short version of it because it doesn't. There's like a very traumatic. Actually, I'm gonna pull it up. Let me see how many pages. Right now we're looking at like 7 pages. So roughly 7 minutes. But you know what, dude? The reason for that too is like, yeah, if you have more money, the idea is like, oh, well, you can have more screen time. But when it comes to shorts, people are way more willing to watch something that's like 7 minutes as opposed to even 15. Like if you send someone a link for 15, like, fuck. If it's
I know.
minutes, they're like, yo, like I can check
But
this out.
like, I'm just thinking of ones that I've seen. Like I saw Oscar Isaac in a short film, and
Yeah.
that was probably like 20 minutes. Uh, like I just think these big actors want to be in things that are like mini movies.
Well, or I mean, it's also concept driven, right? Like if my concept inherently, if the thing that's going to spark the feature doesn't have to be 20 minutes, which this doesn't. This is like the most impactful opening moment of the thing. And then I'm bookending it with stuff that alludes to things that happens in the feature. But for the most part, it's just the centerpiece of that first opening scene, which is about like 6 minutes. I do see what you mean that they like being in longer shit. At the same time, I see the argument of if it's a high level talent and they get a rate for like, you know, a good chunk of change for a dope concept for one day where they only have to be on set for a day, that's also an attractive thing.
It is an attractive. That counts for something, for not having to do any work and getting paid a good amount. I think you're better off. I might be wrong, but and I'm sure on some level both are right, but I think go for the big actor to serve your passion project that like is going to be an illustrated beautiful story that happens to maybe pull at their heartstrings of something that they might get passionate about. That'll be 20 minutes. Figure out a way to like get them on Instagram, get them on the podcast, same thing that we're doing. And then
you really think that 20 minutes as opposed to like a snappy 7 minute short?
just because it's a showcase acting wise for them. They gotta be, they're not gonna be in something where they just like do a couple stares. Everyone hates that.
This isn't a couple stairs. And believe me, it's not just like, oh, there are names, so now let me get that. Like they're instrumental to the whole thing.
That's
They're
what I mean. Yeah.
featured, like the emotional arc that they need to make in these 7 minutes is absurd. Like they like for as an acting exercise, what I've squeezed into this opening moment is like I feel like it would be a huge challenge. You know, I don't think it's necessarily tied to runtime. I think if you're able to take that impactful stuff, put it in here, if it's a snappy movie quality thing for 7 minutes, I feel like it's good all around. You get the actor in and out, you get the reps and the producers and all that shit. They're like, oh, 7 minutes. Like, I can watch that. I just feel like all the advice that I've heard from like higher ups, like industry, whatever, is like they would way rather click on something that's 7 minutes. But I guess your point is like, what would be an attractive ask for talent?
Yes.
And you think that they would be more willing to do something that's like 20 minutes as opposed to a 7?
Just because they're both still super easy for an actor. I mean, but you did just make really good points. So,
I don't know. I see your point too. You know, like everything. Yeah, there are pros and cons to both. At the same time, I don't know. I mean, this concept specifically, keeping the energy and keeping the drive, I think it would be a much more impactful short at like a 7 minute runtime as opposed to, well, let me like, let it breathe a little and stretch it out. Yeah. But that's me, bro. I'm really focused on, I mean, I've got a lot of things going. Like the shorts are like taking a lot of my time, keeping the weekly thing going. But this is like treading new territory. I know how to run a successful crowdfunding campaign, but it's going to take a team. Like I'm going to need a team of probably 6, 8 people who are like aggressively running it with me to get that kind of money because it's a lot for a short. It's a lot. But I mean, it goes back to we've had a lot of these conversations where you've asked me like, why don't you just like make something that's like very, very cinematic? It's very your voice and everything. This is the thing. This is the step of like I can cycle through a bunch of ideas and I'll continue to do that every week. But like I'm also going to have this proof of concept centerpiece. It's tied to this screenplay that's the best thing I've ever written. really scary, really high concept. I feel good about it.
And it's all within 37 seconds. The best screenplay I've ever written. It's under 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, but it's fucking incredible.
But it's the best 3.5 minutes. I mean, it's like the
read.
launching of the Weber telescope or something. It's like you're seeing your life, the future flash forward. I'm just kidding. Easy, low-hanging fruit there.
Dude, the thing about like writing, have you written anything recently, or has it been a minute?
Stuff, but it's all over 7 minutes. No.
Dude, what I've noticed about writing is like I was in this period of a few months ago. I don't know if you remember, I was like 4 hours every day. I kept that shit up for a good chunk of time, maybe like 3 weeks or something, where I was doing 4 hours a day. It wasn't productive, bro. Like I could sit there but it's depreciating results after a certain amount of time. And what I found works great for me is 1 hour, 1 hour every day. But like, I can't miss that hour. Like that's my number one priority for the day. And I time myself. I'm like, if I like look up for a second, I gotta hit pause. But what can come out of me in that hour, it's like it's the perfect balance of it's enough time to be disciplined and get out like a few pages that are really strong, but also I don't get burnt out where like I'll do a lot one day and then the next day I don't do it. It keeps up this consistent momentum that I'm digging.
It's incredible, man. You're gonna be successful. You're putting in an hour a day.
Thanks, bro. Yeah, it didn't sound like a lot to me, but it's a lot. Like if you're doing an hour every day, like it adds up.
Yeah, shit, man. Well, that's just like that accumulates to 7 hours a week of writing,
Right.
theoretically. You know, I mean, like if you actually are getting to an hour every day, which whatever. But like my brother, I guess he does a lot, probably a wild amount.
Yeah. Do you know how much he writes like on a week?
I don't lately, but like in the past, he's gone through where he would do like 3 hours a day type thing. I don't know how long he sustains that for though. Yeah.
There's that. And then also like how focused is he during that block? Is he 100% staring at the screen, writing for 3 hours? That seems impossible to me. Like I could maybe do that once a week, but keeping that consistent 3 hours of focused attention on writing, bro, to me, writing is the hardest creative process. Like the mental taxation that you get from that is ridiculous. Like I can't sustain that
They
beyond.
say that's like the best, most important skill of a young person coming into the workforce is being able to focus without your phone and stuff. Just being able to like actually
Yeah.
put gauge and put in work in a given time. So I mean, you're training that muscle.
And it's a good time to do it too, because I feel like we actually have less competition now because everyone's attention span is like fucking horrendous. Me too. I think if you're able to like sustain any kind of focus, you're able to just, you know, stay
I
ahead.
try to tell myself that all my day jobs thus far. When I go in there, I'm like, do the best you possibly can. Compete against how you did yesterday. Can you do better than that? And it's a feeling. It's a feeling of like when I first get there, I'm just like, la di da di da. I don't give a shit about where I'm at right now. And then it's like, all right, I'm gonna really think about how can I be doing better. And just by thinking that, it does make you get better.
You apply that even to your day jobs and like every aspect of your life. Are you like, let me be my best and show up my best?
I Yeah, that's what I try to do.
Wow,
Uh,
dude.
in certain categories, I definitely lack probably a lot more than others, but I'm definitely aware of that concept in all of them. Like today, my day job, bro, it's one of the only things getting me through. I was so tired. I woke up at like 5:45 to do Barry's boot camp, which I've been doing like once a week. Yeah. And then I went to the normal gym after that, actually, too.
Damn.
Because it only gets, in the workout class, it only gets, whatever muscles are on the schedule.
Double dipping like that though is rough. I used to do that with when I was doing jujitsu. I'd like go to jujitsu and then go to the normal gym, and I would be fucking dead after.
You're dead. And then I go to work.
Yeah, dude, that's like a triple whammy.
It is. And then my cousin wanted me to play pickleball this afternoon too. And I was just like,
God damn. You're like, it's not happening.
Sore throat, a little sore throat.
Yeah.
I'm feeling better now. But why I bring it up is because I was so tired. I'm at work and my boss is just like on me about doing this stuff. Like, balls of all, we're kind of introducing a new system. And so in order to do that, she's training me on it, watching me like a hawk on every step. And I'm telling myself, don't just get it done. Do it to the best of your abilities. Don't just do it for her. Do it for like yourself. Which sounds so self-righteous, but that's how you get the most out of yourself. Showing up is half the battle, but it's not the full battle. You can't just show up. Sometimes it takes everything in you to just show up, which is great. But you gotta, it's like when Arnold Schwarzenegger says at the gym, you can't just like be there and floundering around. You gotta think in the muscles, how to make it stronger, how to make it better. It usually ends up
repeat that Schwarzenegger quote again.
He makes the point that you're not supposed to just show up to the gym and work out mindlessly. You're supposed to get into the mind of your muscles and think what would make them stronger. So that means you've never heard that?
No. I love that. I haven't heard it before. When I go to the gym, I'm not in it at all. I'm just like, let's fucking get through this shit. Like I'm like dead person.
And you're looking big. It's great, but
you're doing you go through the motions, but I would get better results even than this if I was truly in it.
Yeah. It's like acting. In acting, it's like getting to the mind of the character that you're playing on some level, role playing. He's like getting to the mind of your muscles. Listen to your body. Like what would make your body stronger? So when you're doing bicep curls, don't just like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Yeah.
He's saying literally think about your forearm on bicep curls and like what would make it stronger, like visualize stronger and stuff.
Every sinew in your body activated slowly.
It's
different.
That is different. So you get it. That like it makes you think when you're doing it. You're like, okay, I need to address that part of my muscle, that part of my muscle, slow it down, get into it, really, like activate, engage. And
but to your point of that you show up as your best, I love the idea of that, but I don't know how practical that is in terms of if there are things in your life that you really want to prioritize that you're like, yo, I'm really passionate about acting or like whatever, Valiant mentality, all this stuff. Do you feel like you can show up as well for those things if in every aspect of your life you're like, let me think about the sinews in my arm and like every little aspect of it?
It's a question of intentions. That's what I want in my life. That's what I feel, because I've been kind of practicing this for a few years now, and what I've taken away is you're not going to be perfect all the time. It's not about having a perfect performance, but what I would recommend for myself is that you are intentional about how you live your life, or you attempt to be intentional. So that means that like I have all these categories of things that I want to do, things that are priorities for myself. And yeah, naturally some things fall by the wayside. Comedy, what I'm pursuing, screenwriting, certain stuff like you're not doing your best, but you still say you don't lower the goalpost, or you don't move the goalpost, you don't lower the bar. You just admit like, hey, I'm not doing as well there as I want to be doing, but I recognize that I'm not going to be perfect at all of it at all times. So like right now, what I am thriving at, I'm going balls to the wall for the most part. I still fall short, but with Valiant mentality, that I've had stuff with. And, my acting for a few weeks in a row, I was going, really putting in my best foot forward. And the obvious answer is there's not always a right solution to how to do your best. So it comes down to just trying to think about it and stuff. And I'm always trying to come up with new stuff to do better. Like, lately I've just started doing that like stoic journaling again, where, I read a passage from some positivity thing in the morning. I sum it up in one sentence, write it down. I write 3 things I'm grateful for and 3 things that I'm looking forward to in the day. At the end of the day, I look back at another positive passage, and then I also read back like what my stuff looking forward to was, and then it kind of grounds my day. It makes me reflect on my day a little bit, because I think the tendency for myself, most people, is to just get caught up in the waves of life and forget about your entire day, the good and the bad.
Yeah.
Mostly the good. You forget about the good. And so, yeah, I think that's pretty good. And that the whole thing about competing against yourself is another good. These are all just tools to trying to get. I want to reach my potential. Even if I was rich, that wouldn't be enough for me. I want to like get the most potential out of myself.
I love the idea of, instead of like comparing yourself to people in your space or
yes,
all that stuff, which I'm so guilty of, bro. Like that's my default. And I think that's a
way.
lot of people's default.
It's the human way. Yeah.
Yeah. But I love the idea of like you're in your own lane and you know what you've done and you know what you want to do, but it's just you yourself. But at the end of the day, that is all it is in reality, is like you have your own set of experiences and background and things that you bring to the table. You have your own specific like acting tools and like your own personal brand, like all that kind of shit that you could compare yourself to people, and you probably do. You probably do naturally compare yourself to people that you want to be like, who kind of look like you a little, or like.
I actually don't. I'm the only person that says comparing yourself to other people isn't all bad. I don't think it's bad. I think sometimes it's like
motivates you.
It actually motivates you. It's like, this cool thing. It's like I'm like inspired by it.
I agree. I think it does motivate you. My tendency is to almost get pissed off at like people who are in my space, who I envy, who I want to be in their position. I think that's a negative. I think if you're using it as like fuel for like, oh, I'm inspired by them, now let me do my own thing and everything.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to differentiate.
The tendency tends to be more negative with comparing. Yeah. But anyway,
the pros. I definitely see the pros, but I like focusing on your own lane.
I think it was more like a David Goggins. I want to say it was the first place I heard that.
I love that Goggins. Have we talked about Goggins?
I think we probably have a long time ago.
Yeah.
I haven't been like if he does a podcast, I haven't been listening to it or anything, but I read his book a long time ago. Like it's
the
called,
first one.
Yeah. Is there more than one now?
Yeah, he came out with another maybe like a year and a half ago.
Wow. Yeah,
the first is the better
audiobook. What?
The first is the better one for sure.
Okay. Is not Don't Tread on Me, but it was like you can't
stop me or something.
Stop me. Yeah. And I like that. He says you just have to compete against what you brought the day before. Do better than you did the day before. And like when I'm on even like sports, it's like so blatantly applicable.
Yeah.
Like if I'm playing pickleball and I'm telling myself that grounds me in something much more rich than usually where my head is before that. When I first show up, I'm comparing, I'm looking at what the competition is. I'm saying, oh, those guys look good. I'm intimidated. Like your default, you just get a little intimidated. But then if I like say compare myself to the day before, I like remember how good I was the day before, for one. And then two, I'm like, oh shit. It just makes you want to get better. Like it's like a little more incentive for me than ordinarily I'm just kind of like weighing it.
Right. I think part of it too is you see someone in your space and you're like, well, they can do it. Why the fuck can't I do the same thing? And I think it's been more helpful for me the older that I get. Like age is this metric that we're all like usually insecure about because we're like, oh, we have these ideas about where we should be at certain ages and we compare ourselves to other people.
Yeah.
That is actually that's been beneficial for me because like those rack guys who just made Talk to Me. Did you see that movie or did you hear about it?
What
There were
was
these
it?
YouTubers who came out with this horror feature with A24 that made like 10 mil opening weekend. It did really fucking well. They got a sequel to it now that was just announced with A24. And they started as YouTubers. They had like 7 mil subscribers. But it's seeing things like that where I'm like, these guys are like 31, 32. The fact that like the age gap isn't that extreme,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm completely equipped at this point to,
Yes.
make that jump. And that's why I am talking about shit like, raising 100K for a short. Cause now it's like, it's jumping up to that next level. So I think that can be beneficial. Like you see someone who's in your space, who's like a similar age, whatever, and you start to ask, like, they can do it. Like I can fucking do it. Like you see it. It's
Mhm.
not like you're setting the precedent. It's already there. So now because they were able to do it, it's like, why can't I fucking do it?
Just cross my mind. You need to have like great movie references with what you want your movie to look like. I think that's gonna be a big pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you can like point to, dude, I've been knocking back LaCroix lately too. As always,
Favorite cherry blossom. Tastes
I
like
don't know if
chocolate.
I never get cherry blossom. Interesting.
It's great.
Wow. Noted. No, it probably is great. Yeah, like if you're able to tell people, hey, like we want it to look like this and it's pretty like ambitious, they might be down for that.
Yeah, yeah. And what you're talking about are vision boards. Like that's what pitch decks are, is coming up with the photos that I love using Shot Grid. I think we talked about that, or Shot Deck is what it's called. Yeah. Shot Deck is this website where you can type in like moody horror with one character in this type of room with this scenario, and it spits out like images, beautiful photographs from like
Wow.
stills from these films that are comparable. It's like the easiest fucking way. It's a cheat code to just make a
Like
really simple pitch
ChatGPT.
deck. It's not ChatGPT.
ChatGPT will probably replace that. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
And they could generate like original images too.
Yeah.
I've used ChatGPT for like thumbnails and it's worked out for me. Like it's come out if I don't have a good snapshot for a short, I can just put in some prompt and it'll spit something out that looks really good.
I don't doubt it.
Are you on that AI shit?
Um, a little bit, not really. Not yet. I'm sure it's only a matter of time.
I don't really use it besides like photos.
Yeah.
When it first came out, I like got super lazy with my writing because I was like, yo, like this is gonna generate some dope scripts. Like I don't have to do anything. I can just sit back. But I ended up realizing it can't write. And maybe it'll get better in the future. But when it comes to like innovating new high concept scripts, I think it's for the best. The fact that it can't do that and like we still need humans, I think it's for the best. But yeah, you still have to write your own shit. You still have to put in the hours and do it.
That sounds about right. I mean, I think it's hard to replace people that have very personal stories. I've always had this dream of like someday I'll live in a place, like I'll get to do what Cameron Crowe did, where he, the director of Almost
Yeah.
Famous and Jay McGuire and wrote
Love
Fast Times at
Jerry
Ridgemont High.
Maguire.
Same man. I mean, he was the kid in Almost Famous, so he lived that life. That was the first movie that made me understand like why someone would want to be a hippie and hang out with rock stars.
Yeah.
Because it made them like self-deprecating and human and funny and interesting and everything. And then Fast Times at Richmond High, he went undercover when he was like 23 and went back to high school to just learn about it, write about it, and he wrote that iconic movie. But I want to like live in the Caribbean someday. for like a year and just really get to know people in a town and like just become a little bit of like a documentarian of it and then make a film about like some like fascinating subject in a really cool place. But I love the idea of having like an amazing small town backdrop. And like, I thought about Western Australia in the bush, but like by these amazing little fishing villages where there's great surf and stuff. There's I never got to see it, but my dad said there's this incredible movie about like Sorrento, Italy, where like, just about a slice of life movie about this family that lived there and stuff. And you just wanted to be there.
I think I mean, dude, it's an incredible luxury if you're able to take the time and like, I think it takes a lot
I
of
know.
but here's the thing though. I think you should do it. I mean, when the timing's right.
That comes after I make my millions of VM, bro.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. But I think like being able to immerse yourself in something like that for
Yeah.
one project takes this level of belief in yourself as an artist that you're going to take this experience and like make something really sick. That's something that I haven't tapped into yet, but I want to get there, which is like the reason why I generate so much shit is because I've seen some proof in terms of views or whatever that like I'm able to execute something that people like. But like I feel like I need more of it in order to make a jump like that. You know what I mean? Like I feel like there's some kind of a frantic energy behind me putting something out every week. It's almost trying to prove myself in a way of like I don't know what people are going to like or whatever, but I can't wait for that moment where you've made so much shit that people like, you've really demonstrated your skill and value and everything to where you're able to be like, okay, you know what? I can hit pause on my life for like a year
More
and just
patient.
go, yeah, and just go retreat in this thing and take my time with like one singular long form project.
Yeah. This kid that I grew up with, he was like a filmmaker for a while. Actually, his parents made The Conjuring. His dad's Chad Hayes. And
Legends.
good dude, yeah. And I'm not sure what he's doing now. He's always been a bit of an artist, like bouncing around.
And you were in the fucking room as they were writing The Conjuring.
Yeah.
Crazy.
They're conjuring out The Conjuring. If you could see what I'm seeing right now, them writing The Conjuring, like you just be like, that's Hollywood for you. There are two twins. They're
Yeah.
twins that are like in their 50s at the time. It couldn't be less horror like, They were the bubblegum twins at one point. They were doing commercials, actors.
Yeah.
And they're sitting in Malibu at their standing desks.
Yeah.
Mac laptops facing each other, and they're just going, wait, so do you think they really did this? Hey, Duke. It couldn't be more just like hunky-dory fun.
Insane. Malibu.
Yes. Standing desk, just like so funny. Like, a great vibe, frankly. And they're really passionate about it. It was awesome. But wait, why did I bring all that up? Oh, because the son was like developing a movie with this like guy, and he said, I'm looking forward to developing the movie for 2 years before we even start production. Wow. And it's a bit of an extreme example. I remember hearing that, and he wasn't even really established yet as a filmmaker. I'm just like, that seems like a bit of a stall right there. I was like, that's not.
It does, right? But the amount of belief that takes in order to really take that time, I really look up to that. Like I can't.
Right. There's something about that. He definitely appreciated like the lifestyle of an artist, It wasn't even about money or even making the movie. It was literally just about vibing as an artist.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, the thing about the Conjuring guys, I love that they were 50 at the time. Because yeah, they've done these other things, but I mean, I haven't heard of like the bubblegum stuff or like what they did before. This was their first massive success, right? They hadn't really, I mean, they were probably in the system at that point, right? They probably sold a few scripts.
They did a ton of Disney Channel original movies.
No shit.
Yep. They directed them. wrote him. Maybe they didn't direct him, but
Can't pivoting from that to The Conjuring is so fucking funny.
it's so funny. And then, but I'm curious what I'm gonna look it up after this. Like, what the hell did they do that got them into being the head writers for studio horror film?
Yeah, dude, I
I'm
think
so happy for them.
do you
So
still
happy.
have do you have a relationship with them?
Yeah, they gave me their. I ran into one of them at the supermarket 2 years ago. He gave me his number. Duke of the Valley. I sent him Duke of the Valley. Never heard anything back.
I,
Mm.
I love Duke of the Valley, bro. I think I mean the most ideal thing is we could have him on. Like if we can talk to him on the pod, that'd be massive. But
I'd be able to do that. I'd be able to do that.
come on, dude, that'd be crazy. But if not, like even for yourself, asking the question, like, how did you go from point A to point B would be really helpful. You
You know
know?
what? Dude, that's a great idea. That would be a great reunion to do that too.
Yeah, it'd be a good excuse to just get
Yeah.
together.
Just chat the shit.
Yeah.
What do you got going the rest of the week? How's everything else?
I'm shooting another short on Sunday. I shot one on Tuesday. So trying to build up the thing again. I was running a little low. And beyond that, working on the screenplay, my hour every day, page 66, trying to close that out. That's me, bro. How about
You're
you?
awesome. All same stuff, man. Pushing this value mentality. I've taken a little break from the acting classes the last 3 weeks. So I just talked to him today. I said we're gonna get back to it next week if that's cool. Yeah, no auditions for this writer's strike.
Yeah. I'm sure
Time.
it's been slow.
What? Yeah, there's nothing. But all good things, bruv. Fun podcast.
Hell yeah, dude. And keeping that intention of like I'm here at my best, going to the gym.
Yeah, the key too is the balance of being relaxed while you're doing it. Kick your feet up, like don't beat yourself up if you're not doing your best. You're supposed to be relaxed, but then also create those goals and strive.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm telling you, bro, next time I go to the gym, I'm gonna have that intention.
Yeah, man.
Everything.
Spirit of excellence.
Yes, sir. Always
All
a
right,
pleasure. See you next week.
go, my man. Peace.
Bye.